Hmm. Sagittarius, welcome. I'm chuckling because I don't know. The sun is in your area focus right now of justice. I think that's probably why I'm chuckling, because I just had some different insights come into my mind about justice just before I opened up this video, and now all of a sudden here we are talking about justice. Justice, fairness, equality. These are the themes of the Gemini season for you, which makes a lot of sense, right? Gemini is in opposition to your sign, Sagittarius. So fairness has to come into play. It may be that you find yourself at odds with someone in your life or something happening in your life. And it may be that you find yourself wanting to reconcile this in a fair way, by a fair trial. And now for some of you, that might be taken in a literal sense, as in you may just be going to court. For some of you, that might be taken in a more metaphorical sense. And there may be things happening in your life where a middleman is necessary in order to reconcile the differences between two polar opposites here, between yourself and another. It might become very necessary. And that could be in the form of a judge. It can also be in the form of a friend. It could also be in the form of a manager. It can be in the form of a boss. It can be in the form of a parent. It can be in the form of a child. The point is, keep an open mind. You never know who that judge is going to be in your life that is going to facilitate equality and fairness between yourself and another, no matter what that other is. It is part of your divine purpose, Sagittarius, right now, that especially in your physical world, that you manifest balance, equality, and harmony in your partnerships. So in some respects, this could also be a therapist, for example, or a counselor, where they play the judge to bring about the equality between yourself and a spouse. Keep an open mind, keep an open mind. A big part of this for you, Sagittarius, has to do with detachment from the personal self. That is a big part of the medicine here for you, detachment. Because understand that there are some parts of your life that have already been fulfilled this year. For you, they've already been fulfilled. There are some parts of your life that have already been completed and attained as it corresponds to your physical goals and accomplishments. Now it's time to settle. Now it's time to settle. It's time to create harmony and peace by letting go of the need to go after what it is that you want in your life. By now, it's happened for you, at least on a smaller scope, as it deals with the sun's energy in the present world. Now, I say that because on a larger scope, with Jupiter in your crown chakra, in a more expansive sense throughout this year for you is all about the exact opposite. Because whereas the sun seeks to create peace and harmony, Jupiter creates war. Whereas the sun focuses on the balance and equality between oneself and another, Jupiter is strictly focused on you and your rebirth. But that's happening on a greater level. And yet still the opposition here is going to create a relationship between the two. So some way, somehow, a relationship, between the self and partnership is going to be created as it pertains to your direct world. Excuse me. So Sagittarius, there's a time for higher learning. There's a time for beginning, new beginning learning. And I just love the fact that the sun in your 7th house is very harmonious, super duper harmonious. But Jupiter in your 1st house, in a lot of ways, that is also harmonious, even though they create some sort of opposition here. Because Jupiter in the 1st house is expanding upon the self. Jupiter in the 1st house is expanding upon the self. So you must have an open mind. We're talking crown chakra, and it may be a good idea for you to understand how the crown chakra works. It might be a good idea for you to understand how the crown chakra works as it resonates to you. Because I can tell you a few things about the crown chakra. For example, the crown chakra has to do with the passageway. It is the passageway between the physical and non-physical realities. The crown chakra is the final personal chakra. And it is the transitionary vortex, if you will, between the personal and the interpersonal. So receiving messages into the self from the universe. Okay, receiving messages into the self from the universe. And you have to be open about how the universe chooses to relay these messages to you, because it could be received by something foreign that you've never explored before. With Jupiter in the 1st house, this is a great time to go exploring. Great time to go exploring. With Jupiter in the first house, we're expanding. Jupiter is bringing you back into a new sense of self. You are reborn in a lot of ways this year with Jupiter in the first house, Sagittarius. You are reborn in a lot of ways because Jupiter is in the first house. You are reborn in a lot of ways. However, still, the relationship to that as it corresponds to the other houses is going to be explored through the sun. Look at the sun as if the sun is the son of Father Jupiter. There's like a son-father relationship happening here between the sun and Jupiter. And Jupiter is a very fatherly aspect too when you get to know Jupiter. Jupiter's the father of the gods. So Jupiter is teaching you about the self as it correlates. Jupiter's passage through Sagittarius in your first house is a year. It passes through the signs once a year. Each sign it passes through once a year. While for the sun, it passes through each sign once a month. 12 signs, 12 years. For Jupiter, 12 signs, 12 months for the sun. If you can imagine Jupiter, the father of the gods, trying to teach little youthful warrior son at this time about what it means to conquer, what it means to have confidence in self. And he's trying to teach that to the sun, which is you, by relationship, by understanding how to create equality in relationships right now. Interesting. And to expand on that even more, you are going to have Venus and the North Node who are going to be in Yod aspect with Jupiter in your first house. Nothing is going to make total sense here because Jupiter is in Mount Olympus, right? Zeus, Mount Olympus. That, once again, just like the crown chakra, just like out in the universe, right? In the solar system, Jupiter is that huge, giant planetary body that circles between the inner planets and the outer planets. So Jupiter, no matter how you look at Jupiter, has a way, is that transitional, that intermediary between the personal and non-personal self. Between the personal self and the collective. So the best thing you can do at this time, Sagittarius, keep an open mind. But let Jupiter teach you, because your focus right now is taking you in the exact opposite direction towards understanding personal relationships and towards detachment, while Jupiter is here to bring new zest for life and to attach you to the physical world. The sun is in a process of detaching you from the physical world. Jupiter is reattaching you. You're being reborn throughout the entire year. However, it's not all happening at once, but there are opportunities here from which Jupiter is teaching you about partnership. So all month long, your homework is to listen and to open your mind and to keep an open mind, to really allow yourself to Think along the lines of harmony and peace and equality. And to allow yourself to simply embrace the detachment as you attach. Because eventually, you are going to be taken through the passage of death, transformation, and rebirth. However, that is for the next season.